the Brickyard on NBCSN. That is going to be an unforgettable event and some unforgettable sights here. That's Haystack Rock at Cannon Beach on the coast here in the Great Pacific Northwest. We'll give you highlights of our first 450 moto from earlier today as we transition into the big bike class here at Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. The 34 of Phil Nicoletti got the whole shot in this race a little over an hour ago. Got a pair of KTMs, Andrew Short, the 29, and the 167 of Benny Bloss with him. But soon your points leader, Ken Roczen, doing what he does. He just plows through traffic. And at the end of lap 1, he's gone through every single one of these riders on the 94 to take the lead. Late in the race, Eli Tomac has caught the 377 of Christophe Pourcel and takes over second place. Now Pourcel is going to try to ramp it up and keep the pace, stay with him, but it goes bad in a hurry for him. And the Frenchman crashed out of the race. He was able to get up under his own power, but not rejoin the race. Roczen takes the win, but watch, Tomac on that green number 3, not too far behind at the end. He really closed it up in the final 10 minutes. We'll see how it turns out in Moto 2, which is coming your way in a few moments. Here are your Moto 1 results. Marvin Musquin, another Frenchman, good ride for third. He was actually close to Tomac for most of that one before he had a crash of his own. Phil Nicoletti, best finish of the year in fourth. Let's give you a little more insight on this track, courtesy of the folks at LitPro. They make a GPS device you can put on your helmet, and that allows us to get data that we've never had before from a motocross track.
Yeah, this is actually comparing the Moto 1. So if you have a look here, this is between Musquin and Roczen. You see Roczen takes the outside, but look at that, comes in the whoops with 60% more momentum. Even though he goes longer distance, meaning going wide in there, he gains 0.6, and of course he travels 44 feet longer. Having a look here, you'll see Musquin actually switches to the inside, so shorter distance. But look at the mile-an-hour difference. When they come in, not much in it. But as you can see, Roczen is carrying a little more speed.
And then by the end, Musquin able to get it back. So it just depends on the entrance to that corner. Ken Roczen won that first moto using that line in the whoops. And he's with Georgia Lindsay. Let's go to the GoPro starting gate.
Now it's the final moto of the day. Ken Roczen took the first moto win. However, the sun is coming out. The track is surrounded by a lot of trees. How are you going to figure this out using your goggles, being able to see where the ruts are, etc.?
Well, I'm actually earlier I was riding with a clear, and I'm going on the parade lap now with a darker lens to see how that is, because there's no cloud in the sky right now and we're going to have a lot of shadows. So we're going to go out there, have some fun. Also, the track's getting a lot drier and a lot harder, so it's going to be a little sketchy out there. I'm sure they have watered a bunch of spots, so we're going to have a good eye on the track on the parade lap.
Best of luck. Let's see if Ken Roczen can go 1-1.
All right, the 22-year-old from Germany has been dominating season all year long. Won the first moto earlier today, wants to finish it off right in Moto 2. Little zigzag falls not too far from us at Washougal. For some reason, the crew really likes to go out and get good scenic shots when we come here to the Great Pacific Northwest. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Everyone enjoys coming here, especially Andrew Short. This is a veteran racer who is in his final professional season, and every race for him is pretty special since it's his final year. But thanks to a connection to one of his longtime sponsors, this race seems a little extra special for him.
Washougal is always a fun place to come and race. It's always so scenic, and the track is really tricky. It's technical with the soil. Had some good memories, so it's one track that I always look forward to coming to each and every year. It's always really fun to come to Washougal. This is typically the time of year that Fly Racing has their launch for the new set of gear and all their new products. So for me, I've had some personal interest into it, helped with development, especially the light hydrogen line. It's something that I've always been pumped on. It's more a lighter weight gear, more performance driven, and seeing that we race week in, week out, those are some of the things I was looking for. So for me, to come check out the party, see the new gear, and be able to race in it is really cool and exciting for me. And a good time to get together with like-minded people that are into motocross. For me, anything with Fly Racing is family, so I've been involved with them for a long time. It's cool to see the evolution of the company. Now that the season's winding down for me, we have 3 races left after Washougal, and the future is definitely is fast approaching. For one, I'm kind of bummed about it and trying to enjoy the moment each and every week. But at the same time, looking forward to what lies ahead. I'm looking forward to staying in the paddock, staying in touch with people. Obviously not racing, but I think I have to continually wake up and have new challenges and educate myself in different areas that I haven't before in the past. And I'm looking forward to doing that in some form or function in the future, and we'll see what lies ahead.
That's a great guy, Andrew Short, and a great ride in the first Moto 6, his best result of the year on that number 29. Moto 2 is coming your way in about 5 minutes. Ken Roczen's performance at Spring Creek was one for the ages. Oh, Roczen getting pumped around off the start.
He is so good at just slicing and dicing. Look at him.
Well, that was a key pass. Tomac going to try to get him back.
Roczen is looking down. I wonder if he's got a bench shifter or something.
Gone from probably, what, 10 to third and looking to go for second around Andrew Short.
What? No, sorry, he was actually buried, but now he's side by side. Oh my goodness.
Got it.
Roczen, just unbelievable. Look at that pace.
For all of the Suzuki Star's dominance this season, he still appears to be peaking as the championship heads to its late stages. And Roczen sweeps it here at Millville. Roczen leads the field to the starting gate for 450 Moto 2 from Washougal. Back here ready to race. Washougal final race of the day will be the 450 second Moto. We're going to show you the track here at Washougal, which has changed quite a bit, courtesy of the Kawasaki track map.
Yeah, we're going to take you to the back part of the track where they come through the trees, and this day, well, this time of day, the shadows are really bad. These are the rollers. We've seen guys timing them. We've seen them blitzing them over the finish line. This is that tighter, slick part of the track. We've seen guys now trying to square up lines, go to the outside, basically cutting across those little polished ruts. Then from here, you go from the bottom part of the track, start picking up pace. We've seen a couple crashes over this jump. Make this right, little kink left, over the Lippensall jump, past the Fran Mechanics area. But before we drop the gate, let's get our KTM keys to the Moto. First thing you want to do, obviously, at this track is get a good start. That's always important. But line selection, traction, and where can you pass people? Very tough. And, of course, the shadows.
Got the keys to the Moto there. You saw the Fly Racing 30-second card up when it's turned sideways. We were talking about the other shadows, man. Now it's really a factor. Earlier in the day, we had enough cloud cover, but not now.
Yeah, and that's why I put that in there. Shadows are very, very important. Traction, of course, important.
And start. Let's see who gets it. Phil Nicoletti had it at Moto 1. He's going to get elbowed out here. And it is Marvin Muscan leading them into turn 1 and out of it. An army of KTMs, the 15 of Dean Wilson right there with him. Eli Tomac with a good start. But look who's blasting right through the center.
Yeah, Roczen just, well, Barsha that pushed up track there. He rejoins. But how about this? Roczen now trying to go for the lead immediately. Muscan on the inside.
Muscan's going to try to make him go the long way around. Now remember, it got a little crazy between Savacci and Webb in the 250s down here. Oh, Muscan's going to hold him off. Roczen's going to try the outside. He is so quick early in these races, and when he only has to pass one rider, well, it's just that much easier. He's going to try to outbrake Muscan, and does.
How he does that is incredible. Just leaves the braking really late. And just went the long way around there. Muscan, no slouch around this track, or period. But look at the shadows when they go into that. Like, it goes from complete bright, and your eyes have to adjust. You heard Roczen talking about, you know, different types of lenses. I know the Oki guys have that new prism lens, which helps with the shadows. But it also tones down the glare from the sunlight. When you see here, I promise you, TV helps tone it down. But when you come to this section, especially this section, it's almost being like partially blind.
Yeah, you're going from bright daylight to shadow. Here's Tomac, who's very strong late in the first moto to get second. He's on the move here early, up to third, trying to go after Muscan and Roczen, your leaders, as we're putting lap 1 in the books here at Washougal.
Interesting there that Roczen changed his lineup. You know, first moto we saw him railing that outside and really blitzing the whoops. But I think what happens sometimes later in the day, the whoops get so they become less steep, if that makes sense. They get sloped over a little bit from everyone wearing them out, so they become more like ski jumps. So for these guys, a lot of time, just come in with good speed, launch in, and try and get a rhythm and get out of there.
Tomac now all over the rear wheel of Muscan. And speaking of rear wheel, his broke loose, and he almost threw it away. Desperate to make passes. He's eating that roost that hurts a lot at this track. Roczen getting out front early. Roczen doesn't have to deal with any of that. He's on the smoke-free patio. Clean air, no problem for the 94, and this is what Tomac has to deal with. Muscan in front of him and just shoveling the roost in his face.
Yeah, now look at this to the outside. Wow, look at that speed from Tomac. That's typically Tomac's specialty is if I got to get around someone, they're probably going to go to the inside. I'm just going to rail the outside faster than anyone can imagine. This is probably what we wanted to see, the fastest three guys in 450 motocross at the moment. Ken Roczen, he's got Eli Tomac, not right behind him, but he's there, as well as Musquin, who also looked good in that first moto. So I'm curious to see Ken Roczen drop these two, or are they going to fight, try and stick with him?
Tomac definitely looking more racy in the opening laps of this race than the first moto a little over an hour ago. Said then it took him about 20 minutes to get his rhythm in that 30-minute race. Last 10 minutes, though, he was very quick. See if he can pick up where he left off. Can he keep Tomac? Can Tomac keep Roczen in sight? The first few laps usually belong to Roczen in these races. If Tomac can kind of weather this storm, stay close enough, and maybe give him something late in the race. We saw that happen a couple races ago at Muddy Creek in Tennessee. It looked like it was Roczen's all the way, and then a furious charge from Tomac down the stretch. And it came down to the last lap, those two battling. Tomac is not letting him go this time.
And Musquin doing a great job of just latching on to Tomac, because Tomac looked like he was coming through in a bit of a hurry there, wanted to get around Musquin to go after Roczen, but since then, Musquin got in a great pace, and look at them, all three of them riding the same straightaway.
So here we go, it's Ken Roczen and Eli Tomac again. They've been putting on a great show the last couple of races, and we're set up for another classic between these two again. Oh, Roczen getting bumped around off the start. Tomac gonna try to get him back.
Tomac now putting the pressure on Roczen, 1 and 2.
Eli Tomac continues to close. Ken Roczen on the 94. Soaring Eagle Jimmy John Suzuki is your leader. We're down into the deep woods of this track, into the shadows, and the fans here starting to sense Tomac closing the gap on that Monster Energy Kawasaki.
Well, he's shown pace all day long from first to second practice, fastest qualifier. Didn't quite get a great start first moto, but made some ground on Roczen. But we have seen in the past, sometimes when Roczen's put under pressure, he's able to pick it up. But right now, being shadowed by Tomac.
Well, Roczen slows down on the entrance. He's just trying to keep Tomac hung on the outside. No, he didn't let him go.
Yeah, Roczen had a little quick look over to the right. He saw Tomac. I think Roczen basically let Tomac by, thinking things aren't gelling. You know, you heard Tomac say off the first moto, the first 10, 15 minutes, I just couldn't get that rhythm. I wonder if Roczen's having the same problem right now. It's the sun's come out, it's dry, it's rough. Just watch this. Watch Roczen when he exits this corner. Watch him just look a little off to the right there. Almost like, okay, I see you, and then he just lets off the gas, because we know how Roczen can run it in. He's great on the brakes. So maybe just not feeling it. Maybe he's trying to follow some line. But you know, I said I wouldn't have blown by that quick, that early if I was Tomac. I should have, you know, smelt a rat and thought, okay, he's letting me by. Okay, he's going to learn from me. But Tomac's the kind of guy, if you open the door, he's going to take it, and then he's going to put his head down and just keep doing what he's doing. I'm just interested to see if Roczen can adjust the lines, follow what Tomac's doing, figure out where he's losing ground. Because watch, see Roczen, such a smart rider. He's now basically mirroring all the lines. Cran showing the pit board there to his rider.
Yeah, this is kind of an old school way. I heard a lot in the old days of motocross where riders would be like, he's going faster, I'm going to let him by and figure out his lines. You don't see that so much anymore. We'll see if it works for Roczen. Marvin Musquin riding very well. But you put Roczen and Tomac in a duel, they really take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Musquin third, Red Bull KTM, his teammate Wilson right behind him fourth. Barcia, who got punted around a little bit, as you said, off the start, but actually didn't lose too many positions. He'll come through next in fifth as we wait on Wilson here. And it should be close. Yeah, Barcia is right there on Wilson. Wilson in his second race back, returning from a torn ACL, had surgery. Of course, there's a lot of time off for rehab. And he wants to get some racing under his belt to try to get back in shape, but also For a lot of these riders, it's a bit of an audition for rides next year. Wilson's contract with KTM is up. He had a 2-year deal with them, and he is one of many great talents on the free agent market for next year. So he's both racing his way into shape, but also trying to show you what he's capable of. Right now, running in 4th with Barsha right behind him. Barsha almost won this race a year ago. Not quite the same today, but still trying to move up right now on Wilson. He has his teammate Weston Pike, who's very good in Moto 1. 7th, 6th right now.
I don't think anyone questions Dean Wilson's talent or ability. Unfortunately, it's just been knee injury after knee injury, and those things don't heal quickly. ACLs, any of those ligament-type issues, it takes a lot out of you. Great to see him back and healthy, and also great ride so far.
Georgia, what do you hear on the 15?
Yep, during the first moto, I spoke to his mechanic and I said, how did Dean feel after doing, getting the first race out of the way after such a long time? And he said, he was really annoyed. I said, but I thought he did great considering he's just coming back. He goes, no, he feels like there's still more in there. And obviously last weekend he got 11th for 11th overall. So I know he's expecting more out of himself this weekend.
And he is doing much better right now, running in 4th, but for how long? He's got Barsha all over him. Oh, Wilson taking him a little wide. This takes me back about 5 years ago. These guys were bitter rivals in the Supercross days on 250s. I haven't seen them hook up in a battle in quite some time.
Uh-oh, there's Barsha on the inside. He's going to take that line away.
Oh! Take that line away. That was forceful, and somehow Wilson gets back in front of him. I think they just rekindled their whole rivalry right here. Past the Flat Mechanics area. Barsha down to the inside. Wilson able to hold them off.
What's that saying? History repeats itself. Here we go. A few years later, different class, different brands. Same scenario, just going at it.
Horsepower Hill. Unbelievable how fast they go through this section, that they're going to be trying to pass each other while doing it. Barsha all the way around the outside of that 51. Does he have enough speed?
Not quite there. Wilson protecting the inside just a little bit, basically making Barsha have to go the long way around. We also saw what can happen if you leave that door open in that corner.
Yeah, that's our 250 class showed. All right, now another one of these tight S-turns coming up here. Barsha going to enter on the outside. Cannot beat Dean to the spot. Wilson doing a great job riding the wide bike.
Great ride for Wilson. Even if he was to lose a couple more spots, I still think great improvement. Because Barsha's just relentless. He's going to put the pressure on. See, Wilson takes the line away. Barsha now trying to come up the inside. It's a smoother line. Their lines will come together.
Whoa! Again, I thought Barsha had him, and Wilson, he is fighting for it. There's no doubt about it. Barsha going to have to take a long way around again. Oh, big drive out of the corner, but a little mistake.
He's on the rev limiter there.
Yes.
Probably, I'm sure, just a little intimidation as well. But Bam Bam looking like he's getting a little frustrated.
Hey guys, when you're looking at these guys just scrub off the faces of these big drop downs, Grant, as a racer, you have no idea, and especially with the shadows, you can't see where you're going to land. How do you do that as a rider and keep yourself going?
It's a great question as we see Barsha getting around Wilson there. Perfect move coming out there. Oh, Barsha takes the line away. So, like we said, certain things don't change. That heated rivalry just got rekindled. But, one of the things a lot of these guys do, obviously, they look at the track, they walk the track. They've got crew out there hitting the radio talkback button. So a lot of times they might know where there's a big bump or a hole or something to be careful of. And a lot of it's feel. Like when you know where your line is, if you know you're going to be launching down the hill, you might think, okay, I might land in a braking bump. So am I either going to land in front of it, or am I going to really go big and go over it and try and gain that little bit extra?
That's what Weston Pike is trying to do right now. Barsha has gotten around Wilson with a little mustard on a pass and then a prevention of Wilson passing him back. Now Weston Pike on the 28 is trying to get him. Trying to get him inside, outside, working him all over. We'll try to stay with it here as he tries to make the pass. We're into the S-turns, and Wilson's got him held back. This section's tight. But another S-turn coming up. Is Barsha going to start it and his teammate Pike going to finish it? He's working inside on Wilson. Here he goes.
Yeah,
got it.
Move, late on the brakes. Pike looking good this moto. Dino riding great at the moment, hanging out.
Oh, James Stewart is out of this. Hey, we'll send it to Georgia with a report on the 28. It'll be Stewart, and Stewart looking at the hands. Last week it was the blisters got the better of him in Moto 2. It looks like it's happened again. Georgia, what do you got on Pike?
Well, yes, as we just said, it looks like, yeah, Stewart's looking at his hands. I'm guessing he's heading back to the pit. But the 28 of Weston Pike, I spoke to his dad, Lou, earlier, and he goes, yeah, Weston this year has really got to know the dirt and the ground very well. It seems like he's had the speed, but he's had so many crashes. And last weekend at Spring Free, he had that big crash with Brock Tickle that actually put Brock Tickle out by fracturing his pelvis. He did hurt his hand. It wasn't broken, but it is really beaten up. So right now he is, riding injured. But for him, he just wants to keep on 2 wheels right now.
Yeah, unbelievable how tough this dude is. He literally got landed on by Tickle, and here he is a week later. He's 4th overall right now, Pike, and going after Barsha. Now we got a battle between Wilson and Short. We're just halfway through this moto. So again, we remind you, 15 minutes, this race will be over. 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on your insurance. They call Geico. Andrew Short riding well again today, 6th in Moto 1. Trying to get 6th in Moto 2. He's got to pass Dean Wilson to do it.
Yeah, Shorty riding very well today, but he's always liked this track. There's something about this Washougal circuit that suits the number 29. Dean Wilson just keeps plodding along. He's got a pretty solid pace going, not setting the world on fire, but this will be another great solid moto. And then, referring to James Stewart, when they were talking about super gluing his blisters together after Moto 1 last week, you can't recover that quick in 1 week, get those hands solid. So, hey, he made it further. He got basically halfway through this moto. Last week, he pulled off within a lap or 2 in Moto 2. So progress for the number 7. Progress for the number 15. He's out there riding well.
And progress for Shorty. Oh, Wilson almost threw it away. Oh, how about that? Christophe Pourcel is back at it after that huge crash in Moto 1. Then it's Brayton and this man, the 43, Freddie Noren. By the way, Fast Freddy was the Deltran battery tender RC hard charger last week from Millville, passed the most riders of anyone in our races in Minnesota. So well done for the Fast Swede. And Deltran battery tender handing out the award to him. He's backed by Rocky Mountain ATV MC on the Honda. He's in pretty tight with the Honda folks, does some testing with them. Heard he's even ridden that 2017 Honda, which should be seen shortly as the new bikes are starting to roll in. I don't think we'll see him in the races this year, but Honda will be debuting into the press and fans within a couple of weeks. That's what I've heard. So deep in the shadows, you wonder what that's like to ride on a track that has light going in and out. We'll show you with the GoPro track preview from earlier.
Yeah, this is actually from Moto 1. And if I can try and elaborate, around Moto 1, the sun is almost directly above the guys. So the shadows aren't that bad because the sun's coming through the trees. At this time of the day, they're coming almost across some of the trees. So you get this cross glare that nails you in the eye sometimes. But you'll see once they go over this jump, they drop down in the trees. Yeah, not too bad, Moto 1, but Moto 2 right now, you can tell it's really bad.
And this is probably the darkest section right here through these trees. And he got ruts to try to focus in on it as well. And now the Supercross whoops. This is Stewart from earlier trying to make some passes, but he's out of Moto 2. Eli Tomac has stretched his lead over Ken Roczen. Tour de France concludes tomorrow morning on NBCSN. After 3 weeks of racing, the peloton finally reaches its destination, the City of Lights. That is just one of the most spectacular scenes in all of sports when they get into Paris. Stage 21 of the Tour de France tomorrow morning, 10 Eastern. And we'll have an encore of that in prime time tomorrow night as well. A little promotion for Red Bull Straight Rhythm. That's a really innovative event coming your way in October. Eli Tomac, pretty innovative the way he's turned his day around. Moto 1 earlier, he was battling with Benny Bloss, Andrew Short, just to try to get in the top 5. We were wondering what's wrong with Tomac. Late in that race, he put it together, he rode very well. Then in Moto 2, he goes around Ken Roczen, which has not happened very much this year. And we're looking at the overall right now. Oh, we see Brayton out and back on the bike. He just crashed. Brayton was solid. By the way, that overall, it's going to be Tomac with the overall win if he holds on for this. We can see what happened to Brayton here in the 10 through the whoops. Uh-oh.
Yep. Oh, that was a big endo there from Brayton. Yeah, his feet got kicked off and then hooked the frame. Hopefully in one of those, if the bike goes over you and not onto you,
Yeah.
it's such a big difference. If it goes over you, you usually get up. If it slams you, it hurts, and you're trying to catch your breath right now.
Yeah, overall points, Roczen and Tomac will be tied today with a first and a second each. But the tiebreaker's second moto. So Tomac's looking for this. That'd be his second win of the year and 17th career overall victory in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. We go back to Andrew Short, who's in 6th in a good battle with Christophe Pourcel, who I'm shocked is even back out here in the second moto after a huge crash in Moto 1 while running 3rd. Good bounce back for the 377, and he wants more. He wants to get Short for 6th.
Yeah, good rebound ride for Pourcel, especially like you said, Jason, that first moto crash. Not the biggest crash I've ever seen, but the way he kind of like slapped the ground and knowing the neck injury he's just come off, definitely, you know, didn't feel good. Great to see him out here, and once again, it was actually right off this jump right there, caught his foot, Superman, and flatlanded. Isn't that his nickname, Superman?
He has Superman tattoo, so maybe he just wanted to live up to that once. Now I doubt that's the way he wanted to do it. Here he is, Pourcel on the outside, running those unorthodox lines, as he is known for, trying to figure out a way around Short. He's going to go way down to the inside. You can see it was practically dust down there on the inside of that corner. No bike had ventured there, and he used it to make a pass.
That was very smart from Pourcel. Just came down, charged it in deep, went straight to the exit where he knew the premier line is railing that outside. He just went straight to the exit, took the line away from Short. Good move from Pourcel.
So it's Tomac, Roczen, Musquin top 3. Pike has gotten around Barsha, so Pike riding very well today, and that should be good enough for 4th overall for him. 7-4 scores. Tomac. Clock starting to tick away, and we can send it down to Georgia with a little more info on the goggles as we're dealing with the light and shade here on this track.
Yes, we were talking about Ken Roczen at the beginning of the race, not knowing which he was going to wear. However, Ken Roczen is wearing the clear lenses, which I can put up and let you guys see. Not much of a change. However, Eli Tomac, who is now leading, he went with the tinted lenses. And I'll let you take a look here too, and you can see the difference. It's just like putting sunglasses on. And we've had this before where Eli Tomac and Ken Roczen are battling in 1 and 2, both running different setups.
Yeah, both Oakley goggle riders, so that's just rider preference right there. They both have the same technology available to them.
I would have been wearing the tinted lens, or I believe now it's the prism lens. And if you look, where that helps is it doesn't make the shadows any darker like your old traditional darkening lens, and it actually helps illuminate the shadows, so it evens out the light a little bit more. So as someone that's had eye issues in the past and sensitive to the glare, I would definitely be going with a tinted lens right now.
Checking back in with Roczen, he has now stabilized it at least. 8.7 seconds the gap between Tomac and him. Now, that doesn't mean that he kept the heat on like he probably would have wanted to and stayed close enough to maybe try to make a pass. But just those 3 or 4 laps where Tomac got him, and now it stayed within 7 to 8 seconds for most of it. Very curious to find out what happened to Roczen in this moto. Just not quite the same as the first one.
Also, at this point in the season, Roczen's in championship mode. That's the big picture. He doesn't need to beat Tomac. Does he want to? Of course. But he wasn't feeling it this moto, and rather than try and race off to Tomac and crash and potentially injure yourself and take yourself up for the remainder of the season, I think he's doing a very smart thing. It's just not his moto. Tomac really stepped it up and charged. Roczen will take that second, tie on points, not really lose anything, and move on to the next round.
Musquin, great run in 3rd, looking for 3rd in both motos, which would give him 3rd overall for the day. Always fast on this track. Musquin, a real technician out there. And he said last week he was really excited to also finish on the podium. He got 2nd in Minnesota because he says he knows he usually does well on the tracks like this. So to do well on a rougher track last week, he felt was a real sign that they have this bike set up exactly the way he wants to do well on any track. He's also very good at our next race, which will be at Unadilla in 2 weeks.
Also, as soon as we're talking about gear and bright colors, I must say I do like that fluorescent orange Thor gear that Musquin runs. He's so noticeable out there. It's so easy to spot
definitely gets
him.
you noticed, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a strobe light going through the shade in that section. Weston Pike, what a run. That crash from last week, I thought, well, that's going to be it for him for a while. I mean, literally landed on by Brock Tickle. And Tickle is unfortunately now out for the rest of the season. They discovered a fracture in his pelvis, which sounds terrible. Pike actually coming back to race today and actually putting in one of the best rides we've seen from him in a while. Be fourth in this moto.
We talk about how tough Pike is. He gets landed on, the other guy gets injured.
Yes. I saw him hanging out at the Joe Gibbs Racing rig late in the day, and he didn't even seem upset. Couldn't believe it. And Marche, his teammate on the Auto Trader Monster Yamaha, still keeping it close there, 4th and 5th.
Well, if he was upset, it would have been at himself. He can't be upset at Brock Tickle. That was just a racing incident. Tickle was just a passenger once he had taken off. And best of luck, Brock. We hope you make a speedy recovery. Looking forward to seeing you back next year. On which team, we don't know yet. As we've talked about a few times, so many top talented riders without a signed deal for next year.
Pike, one of them as well.
Well, the musical chairs will begin.
Yeah, only 3 races to go after this. And some teams up in the air, not sure how many slots will be available. This guy's locked in. He's got a multi-year deal with Rockstar Husqvarna, Christoph Porcel. So he has finally gotten Andrew Short. We saw in this corner about a lap ago, made the pass. Short pushed back to 7th on the BTOsports.com KTM. Freddie Doran now 8th. So Fast Freddie putting in a great run. But we'll come through next behind the 29. The team people cheering Shorty on as he takes his final laps at Washougal. There's Noren riding well in this moto.
Behind him, top 10's rounded out by Benny Bloss in 9th and Dino Wilson in 10th. So another lot of good rides for some of the KTM guys. Muskin at the moment will be on the podium once again. Shorty with a top 5. Benny Bloss with his best overall in 6th. And Wilson with a top 10 in 9th overall. So good day for a lot of these guys with either something to prove or the improvements. But Orange Brigade got to be happy right now.
Bloss, this is going to make 8 straight motos inside the top 10 if he can hang on to this 9th. Dean Wilson, a step ahead of last week, had a pair of 11s, running 10th right now. And that 15, the Scotsman, the Red Bull KTM, another rider whose contract is up at the end of this year. So search for a ride as well. That's going to be a real theme over the final 3 races of the year, which will kick off in 2 weeks. Here's Phil Nicoletti. I erred in the first moto. I said the 4th I thought was his best finish in a while. He did get a 3rd in a moto. Glenn Helen last year, you might remember, he was running 4th for a lot of the race, and then there were bike problems. Shockingly, it was for Ryan Dungey, and a bunch of riders were able to get by him, including Nicoletti, got his first ever moto podium. So props out to Phil. Good run today. Should be 7th overall. Whoop, got a hold on to that thing though in the whoops.
Getting slick late in the day. His time's about to expire, but Tomac obviously already crossing the finish line. So 3 laps left to go. Here at Washougal 2016, Tyler Bowers, fill-in rider, actually contracted to Mitch Payton, the Pro Circuit Monster Energy Kawasaki rider, but after Will Hahn got injured, the 450 factory team of Monster Energy Kawasaki brought in Josh Grant. He got injured, and Tyler Bowers coming back, gets on the 450. He's been just quietly going about his business, you know, hovering around the top 10 or thereabouts. It's a good solid ride from Bowers.
Yeah, this 12th would be the best he's had so far. Came back to racing at Redbud 4 races ago, and best I believe was a 17th. I'm sorry, 14th before this. So 12th is a nice step in the right direction for him. And then we should have the privateer McConaughey, who is a local product, Spokane, Washington. This would be the closest race for him. And had a long chat with him this morning. He's a privateer. He doesn't even know how he's going to get to the next race at Unadilla. He said when these motos are over, then he's got to figure out what team could maybe haul his bike all the way to upstate New York. But he says, I'm not stressed on it. I'll figure it out. I'll get my bike on a truck, and then I'll put some tools and parts on another truck, and then I'll maybe buy a one-way ticket or something to get out there. That's privateer life.
Yeah, but the nice thing nowadays, I feel like this community's really come together. Everyone tries to help everyone else out. You know, you've got people like Fly Racing, TPJ, the Privateer Journey, helping a lot of these guys out, doing things like that to help these guys that are very good, not factory riders, but the best of the rest, get from race to race.
So Jesse Wentland come by on the 63, another privateer, the Rick Schugel Racing Honda. And this is Heath Harrison, who has been raising some eyebrows this season. Switched to this KTM here on the 99, backed by Got Gear Motorsports, and has been battling inside the top 15 last 4 or 5 races, and he's in there again. 15th place right now. Harrison out of Alabama.
And we got lappers now.
Yeah,
Kyle
these guys
Chisholm
are riding
at
well.
16th
Yeah.
is a lap down to Eli Tomac, so shows you the pace, but good ride for Chiz. He's had a couple, couple crashes and a few things happen, but a nice solid ride. Get some more points.
Yeah, Chisholm definitely getting stronger as this year goes on, and always good to see that. Chiz is one of those guys. He's an insider, man. He rides with a lot of the fast guys at the good tracks. Everybody respects him and likes him, and also located in Florida where a lot of the good tracks are. So good to see the hard work he's been putting in with a lot of the top riders starting to pay off. He's rebuilding himself from a big shoulder injury in Supercross. This guy was once rebuilding himself from shoulder injuries as well. Eli Tomac, absolutely dominant at the beginning of the 2015 championship. Then he crashed out, injured both shoulders. His season was over almost literally in the blink of an eye. And it has taken a long time for him to get back to that type of form. Finally got a win at Southwick 2 weeks ago in the sand. And that's a different type of track. To come back and do it again today on a track that's about as far removed from sand as you can get, this is starting to show things are falling into place.
Yep. We're starting to see the Eli Tomac that we've been wanting to see or waiting to see for a bit of time. Also, another guy rocking some of the new gear, Alpine Stars, the 2017 stuff.
Yep.
He looks good. Anything looks good when you're leading. But last lap, a little bit of a parade lap. Nothing better than going past your mechanic. He's got his fist in the air, the pit board, basically saying, you've done it, well done.
Yeah, been a bit of a struggle when Tomac switched over to this Monster Energy Kawasaki team. Obviously, he's a big salary guy, and I'm sure he expected to win races. I mean, more than he's won this year. He won the Daytona Supercross. This will be the second national win for him in motocross this year. So by those standards, winning a lot of races and battling for the titles didn't quite happen, but I got to give these guys credit. You never really saw fingers being pointed. They had to be frustrated, I'm sure. But you never heard any rumors of huge panic or this isn't working out or this is a disaster. They just kept plugging away, plugging away, plugging away. And as he said at Southwick, when he finally won, he said the main thing is you just can't give up. You just got to keep trying.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why he's a high salary guy, because he's got the heart of a lion. He's not going to give up. He's a warrior, a champion, someone that really wants it to see yellow flags. Whew, this late in the motor. I mean, look at these bikes just bouncing everywhere. And we haven't seen someone not jump that, but Tomac has looked back, just making sure Roxon's not right there. Roxon's backed it down completely. But Tomac still enjoying a decent lead. It's survival for these guys, especially when there's nothing to be gained and it almost seems like everything to lose. Just trying to get around this track without too many mistakes.
Eli Tomac looking for his second overall win in 3 weekends. That's going to feel good going into the 2-week break. Wonder if they've had a little breakthrough today, making this bike perform this well, and the rider certainly had a lot to do with it as well. Eli Tomac does what he has to do. He passes Ken Roczen, he gets away. He'll go 2-1 and win the overall at Washougal. Excellent job by Eli Tomac. Yep, could have thrown in the towel and said, well, it's a building year. I'll be back in 2017. Nope, he wanted to win races this year. No, only knows one way to go about it. We say it every week. Of course, the son of John Tomac, who is a legend of mountain biking and was a heck of a road cyclist as well. So you know this guy's only programmed one way, and that's to work hard and keep working until he's at the top. And he was today. Trillium Lake, it's Mount Hood in the background. Great scenery here. If you ever want to come to the Washougal National, make sure you don't just watch the National, but hang out for a few extra days and see all the great things to see. It also includes downtown Portland, which isn't too bad here either. But even better than not too bad is being great, and that's what Eli Tomac was today. Let's send it to Georgia with him on the podium.
Yes, Eli Tomac taking the overall with that second moto win also. Now, Eli Tomac, after the first moto, you said, I don't know what was wrong with me for the first 20 minutes. It seemed like you figured it out.
Yeah, I brought the last 10 minutes of the first moto to this one and felt good the entire time. Was, I don't know, was really good from the get-go. Made a good pass around Marvin on the outside and then ended up catching Ken. Got around him and just tried to lay it down there and just felt awesome the whole time. That was a fun race.
Now, you passed Ken Roczen for the lead. The guys watching it in the booth said it kind of seemed like a strange thing where Roczen almost let you pass, but then you gapped him after that. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. To me, it was like he sat up a little bit, so I don't know. I just was focusing on just trying to pin it. So thanks to Monster Energy Kawasaki. This is a good way to end our little break here that we have now, and we'll come back swinging in a couple weeks.
Congratulations, Eli Tomac, taking the overall today.
Thanks, Georgia. We're going to show you. Look at the crowd has gone big here at Washougal, and honoring the win here for Eli Tomac. We'll show you how he got it with this Lucas Oil race recap. Marvin Musquin out front early. This is almost an instant replay of last week as Ken Roxon's trying to get Musquin for the lead, and will use the outside to do it. So it was looking good for Roxon then.
Yeah, he just carried great momentum, left the braking as late as possible, gets around Musquin, but then the number 3 of Tomac, who was putting the pressure on Roxon, takes a little look over, chops the throttle, in my opinion, lets Tomac around him. I think he was trying to latch in behind and follow his lines, but Tomac, this moto, just put the hammer down and started to break away.
Yeah, that was it. Final margin of victory, 16 seconds. So Tomac has the moto win, second overall victory in the last 3 weeks. Justin Barcia fighting back, makes a late pass on his teammate Weston Pike to put his Joe Gibbs Racing machine into 4th. That's the Yamaha. Christophe Pourcel, great bounce back after the crash in Moto 1 for 6th. Short, Noren, Bloss, and Wilson round out the top 10. I've got to think those guys would be happy to be in the top 10 there. Bowers, that's the best finish of the season for him. 12th, and Colton Eck inside the top 20, going to score himself 2 national points, privateer, and send it back to Georgia.
Yes, Ken Roxon tied in points but taking second overall today here at Washougal. I was just speaking to Eli Tomac about the pass that he made on you. He wasn't sure kind of what happened, and we were watching what was going on.
I heard that he was going faster, and I kind of let him by to study some of his lines, and I knew he was going really good, and I didn't really feel too comfortable about that. You know, the track was really sketchy. It got super dry, but I'm still happy. You know, he was going really good. I tried to follow him, and you know, humble in victory, humble in defeat. So I'm pretty happy that we got another one done, and we got 2 weekends off now. So gonna go and have some fun, but keep focused. And yeah, overall though, it was a beautiful day here today. Obviously the track got really dry and stuff, but the fans were awesome, and I still had a lot of fun.
We know that you have a lot of fun when you go back home with your friends, your family, your girlfriend. What plans have you got for the next 2 weekends? Are you going to do some more jet skiing, Kenny?
Oh, for sure. I'm actually going to Utah now. My family's coming in. My mom, my sister, my niece. So we're going to go have some family time, have some fun, and then get back to work.
Well, congratulations, Ken Roxon, taking second overall.
We've raced for 6 straight weekends, so any break time these guys get is certainly hard-earned. And Roxon, yeah, he doesn't have to worry too much. Didn't lose any points to Tomac in the championship today, splitting the motos, and still has a big gap in the series. So no reason to be too upset. Here's your overall Musquin on the podium. Second straight weekend. Pike and Barcia battled the entire second moto. Pike will just edge his teammate for 4th overall. So a good weekend for Pike. Short 6th, that's his best of the year. And we will go back to Marvin.
Yes, now 3rd in the first moto, 3rd in the second moto, 3rd overall podium, 3rd overall today. Marvin Musquin, this is a track that you do like. The sunlight out there was incredibly crazy. How was it, your vision?
Yeah, I expected better that second moto. Obviously, I was really looking forward to that second moto after a decent first moto and good lap times. I had a great start. I was really happy about it, but definitely, yeah, like you said, and then it got dry, and track was really tough. I was just trying to be safe and just finish the moto. I was trying, but I think I should have got better lines and stuff like that, but you know, no excuses. I got smug. You know, bottom line, they were like so far ahead of me, and it's a bummer because I feel like I'm getting better, and I should be running with those guys. They're way better than me that second moto. So yeah, 3rd, it's good. It's good to be on the podium, but with all those guys injured right now in the championship, I just think that I can do better than that. 3rd right now is just yeah, my spot, I would say. But I need to get better, and I would like to thank you know, everybody at the team, Red Bull KTM team, and you know, Frankie, everybody, Mathilde, my wife, my parents, and my brother. There's really supportive back in France, and all my family.
Congratulations. Well done, Marvin Musquin, 3rd overall.
3rd overall, 3rd in the points. Justin Barcia was closing in on him a little bit when he got that podium at Southwick, but a couple of rough motos for Barcia. Musquin has really rallied the last 4 motos and has stretched that back out. No change between Tomac and Roxon in the standings today. But hey, there's still 6 motos to go. That's still a lot of points on the line, 150 of them. So it's not over yet in this championship. Here's your upcoming schedule. We will have 2 weekends off. But in between, you can watch a highlight show from this Washougal race on July 29th. It's in a couple of days. And when we come back at Unadilla, we'll have live motos on MAV TV. And a little delay, Saturday night, we'll have the motos on NBCSN. You can always watch them live, though, no matter what, on ProMotocross.com or on the NBC Sports app. So great race today, and quite a bit of surprises. Alex Martin taking the win in the 250 class with a little bit of drama between Joey Savacci and Cooper Webb. And Eli Tomac turning the thing around today after a rough weekend a week ago.
Yeah, crowd getting sprayed. They're loving it. Huge crowd. What a great day of racing. Look at this sweet landing. He lands on his feet.
Yeah.
Tomac rebounds. And, of course, the 250, the gloves are off now. There is no friends. Look at this.
No, you got 2 weeks to think about it, so think about that. Eli Tomac's going to go into a 2-week break on top in the 450 class of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. We'll see you at Unadilla on the 13th of August. For Grant Langston and Georgia Lindsay, I'm Jason Wygant saying so long and congrats to Eli Tomac.